Now let's cross to the United States, where the Democratic National Convention kicked off in Chicago. And for day one, the Democrats brought out the who's who of the party to speak, including Hillary Clinton.
Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America. Donald only cares about himself. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him on the run now.
And eyes were also on Joe Biden, who was trying to salvage his own legacy just as much as he was speaking about Kamala.
COVID no longer controls our lives. We've gone from economic crisis to the strongest economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs. Record small business growth. Record high stock market, record high 401ks. Wages up, inflation down, way down, and continuing to go down.
He can talk up the US economy all he wants, but the truth is there are concerns about a recession. Well, let's bring in now former US Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Thank you. Great to see you again. Look, what were your main takeouts from the first day of this convention?
Well, I think the Democrats, it's good to be with you, Sharri. I think the Democrats feel that the more you say things, even if they're not true, the more it might resonate. Because what's happening is that the things that were being said from the stage last night are just not what the ordinary Americans are experiencing in places, that I travel all the time, and places where I spend a large majority of my time. I see, for example, a lot of discussion about Kamala Harris and her policies. She hasn't announced any policies except price controls, which is kind of a failed socialist idea that ultimately has never worked, and it's a cover up for when overspending by the government inflates the goods and services that people use on an everyday basis. So I think this was a way for them to get some of those folks on the stage and then off the stage. I think you're going to see much more messaging about policy, I hope. But at the same time, Kamala Harris hasn't really announced any policies except price controls at this point.
Well, it seems to be that the Democrats are running a campaign mostly based on personality, not policy, as you say, because the attacks on Trump came thick and fast. He was called a loser, a plague on the American conscience, a scab, even chants saying lock him up. So perhaps we are headed for, what do you think, a campaign that's more based on personality, on attacking Trump personally, rather than on key policy planks?
Yeah. I think that is the case. I was at the Republican National Convention as a delegate, and I don't remember that many speakers worrying about or addressing Joe Biden, who was the nominee at the time before they did their, switch out a month ago. But, you are going to see, I think, the left continue to not be honest about what they stand for. This is kind of what I would call the Obama strategy. He very much ran as a centrist. He very much ran as kind of this idea of hope and change without any really policy provisions. And I think that's what they're trying to do with Kamala Harris, is not allow her to talk about what she would do and her policies, at least based on how she ran in 2020 and what her core philosophies are as a California liberal. I think you're going to see her want to be very much a left-wing radical in her policy approach.